Hi guys, welcome. So we're here today for SVG with Cricut for Beginners. My name is Karen. I'm gonna kind of slowly start in while people are still joining. Hi Valerie, hi Jeannie, hi Bridget. Welcome everybody. Richard. I see we got Michigan, California, Texas represented. Nat T says not hearing anything. Nat T, can anybody hear me? Maybe we'll start with that. Can anybody hear me? Because sometimes there's a delay between me and messages, so I just want to make sure now that I am talking that you guys can hear me. Somebody let me know if you can hear me. Hello, North Carolina. So, we're going to talk about SVGs today. I'm going to introduce myself in a moment. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I see Oklahoma. Yes, Kim says yes. Thank you, Kim. So there is a delay between your comments and what I'm saying and back and forth, so bear with me. Also on the screen that I'll be working on today, I cannot see your comments, so I have another monitor here, so I keep looking over to see your comments there, as well as my husband sitting across from me. He'll be monitoring comments as well shortly. Right now he's just kind of doing some shares, so if anybody wants to let people know we're live afterward, we're going to take the video down and we're going to upload it through YouTube and then post the YouTube link back on our page on Cricut Help Desk Unofficial. So it won't be available immediately after through Facebook, but it will be available possibly later today. If not today, then tomorrow. I just have to see what the upload times look like. Sometimes they take some time depending how lengthy the video is. If I need to add anything to the video, just to make it more clear, keeping in mind they're not going to see your comments at all. So my name is Karen, and I am with CK Customs PA. So CK Customs PA, real quickly, was started 5 years ago. So the C and the K is Christopher and Karen. I'm the Karen. Customs, we do custom designs. PA, we're in Pennsylvania. 5 years ago, we started with cat trees. You can see that on the banner below me. We've been building custom cat trees for 5 years. And then more recently, we've gotten into custom shirts, bags, lots of stuff with the heat transfer vinyl, not so much the permanent vinyl, but that's what we do. So we've decided, we have this spare time, with COVID-19, brings us home a lot more. So we said, why not share what we know, share what we can do with everybody else. So the agendas for today is we're going to say, what is an SVG? What is an SVG? And I'll explain that. Locating some free SVG files, removing image backgrounds, converting images to SVG, importing and cleaning up images and SVG files in Cricut. And that should say InDesign Space. The other thing I want to say before I jump in is I'm going to switch the order up a little bit from the what it says on there for the order. I'm going to switch them up a little bit, just try to make it flow a little better because I was working on it with that last night, and I want to just make that flow for you guys. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in. We'll try to monitor them. I'll also ask again at the end if anybody has any questions then. So push this back a little bit, make sure I have everything I need here. All right, so what is an SVG? So by definition, it's an acronym, Scalable Vector Graphics. So what does that mean? So it's typically a two-dimensional graphic, or it is a two-dimensional graphic, and it's scalable. So when you make it larger, it doesn't become all fuzzy and pixelated. A lot of time, when we save pictures and we blow them up, or you take a picture with your cell phone and you go to have it printed somewhere and you try to make it bigger, at a certain point it becomes blurry, your quality diminishes. So the SVG file type is scalable. They become very, very large. Think of large banners on buildings, that clearance, that store closing, So those are typically done with SVGs. There's other file types that do it as well, but that's one of the more common ones. So SVG, I've kind of turned from seeing a lot on Facebook where people are asking other people to share their SVGs, and you end up with a thread with a whole bunch of pictures. Those pictures, 100% guarantee, are not SVG files because Facebook does not support uploading SVG files. So I can say with confidence, they're not an SVG. But it may be a picture from an SVG. They're typically still those two-dimensional because the person who had it may have had it as an SVG. But Facebook doesn't support uploading SVGs, so at least not as a picture, maybe in the files section. So you're getting a lot of pictures, and I'm going to show you how to work with those as well, because they are very helpful and useful. All right, so let's see where we go from here. All right, so let's look at design space. So let's switch our screen here. I'm going to go away for a second, and then I'll be right back. And let's make sure we got design space. Ooh, there's design space. Make that a hair bigger for you guys. All right. So you should be seeing me in the corner of your screen with design space up. Let me shift some things around so I can see design space. All right, so let's say you've purchased an SVG file, either from Etsy, maybe designbundles.net, from somewhere. And you need to know how to get that into design space. So when it first is downloaded, it goes probably into your downloads folder, and I'm talking in PC language as opposed to an Apple device or a mobile device. Goes into your downloads folder, and it's zipped. Cricut Design Space cannot open or read into a zipped file. So you do need to unzip it, and this isn't a class on how to use Windows or how to unzip files, but you do need to unzip it and pull the contents out onto your computer somewhere. So from there, and I apologize, the one I have ready is not unzipped, so let me unzip it real quick, although you're not going to be able to see me doing that. Just pull the file out. You can also just actually copy and paste files out of a zip into somewhere else, and it becomes unzipped if you don't know how to actually extract or anything like that. All right, so for design space, to get to your canvas, you click New Project. And you should start with a blank canvas. To bring in one of those Etsy files or design bundle files or wherever you may have gotten an actual SVG, you click Upload on the left, and you're going to Upload Image, so the left option. You'll then browse for your image. This is where you saved the unzipped piece of work. You'll need to locate that image. And then if you have the SVG, it should say .svg, click it and click Open. And I'm just trying to check in my screen to the left, like I mentioned at the beginning when I started. Comments I can only see on the side here. Actually, it's my right, but sometimes things are reversed anyway with you guys. So I'm just checking to see if you guys have any questions or comments along the way. Typically, it'll bring in an image name. If it's a true SVG, you don't have to do any cleanup. It's taking you right to basically saving the image. You can give it a name. You can give it tags. These will help later when you're going to search within Design Space for what you've uploaded. You know, you can use other words here like laundry. Those will help with searching for them later. And you click Save. You've uploaded that into Design Space. You then have to get it from your uploads onto your canvas. Now my Design Space is going to be running a little bit slow today because I have the recording software running for this session. So once it's there, this is everything I've previously uploaded. Click on it to get that green box around it. You can also click on multiple at once to bring in to your canvas or unclick them. But whichever you have the green box around, on the lower right, you click Insert Image. Depending upon the size of the file, how detailed that SVG is, it may take some time. You'll see a bar running across the top as it does that. Some of them come in pretty large, so you may need to scale those down. Let's see, if I click my more here, and I don't have my screen maximized, so you may, if you have your screen maximized, these additional options should also be showing in your top bar. But I'm going to just kind of bring this down. Right now the width is 11.667. I'm going to bring it down to about a 9-inch wide. The image is locked, meaning the proportion of width to height is going to change proportionately once I click off of this box. If it was unlocked, it would only change just the one, either width or height that I was adjusting. So it automatically switched my height proportionately, and I've brought in an SVG file. You can see as I move it around the screen, the grid behind is still there because there is no background. That's essentially why everybody loves the SVGs. There's no background. And you go to cut this, all that grid space, all that background space will just be weeded out of your design, including throughout, you know, the letters of your, it is all clear. So I've seen in some of the Facebook chat that people have purchased what they thought was an SVG file, sometimes from Etsy I'm seeing, but it doesn't have a clear transparent background. So let me close that one. Let me go back to upload and upload image and browse. And let's say the SVG was not there, but they had given you a JPEG. I will click open. So as you can see, when it's not an SVG, my next screen is a little different here. I have to do some editing on this one. You can see there's a white background instead of the grid fully behind. I always choose the complex option just to get the most detail possible. And on the lower right, I click continue. Now it's quite large here. So over in the top right are plus and minus signs. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so I can see a little more of what I'm doing and where I'm at on my screen. Alright, so we're going to have to remove this background. There's a couple of tools in here. So the first tool that I'm going to show you is actually the last one up here in the top left, sorry. One of those days. Just watching the comments. So the crop. If you had an image that had a lot of extra space around, or really there may be other things there, but you're only looking for a piece of it that's significantly smaller than what you're working on. So let me minus this so we can see more of what we're looking at, and I'll try to show you. Well, that's as small as that one gets. So let's say for whatever reason I just wanted the word your. I can use the crop and just get the word your. That took everything else away. Now that's silly. I don't really want just the word your, so I'm going to undo. Your next tool, you have an eraser, and you can adjust the size of that eraser with this slide. So as you bring it on, you'll see it becomes a circle, and if I make it larger, it becomes a larger circle. And you can hold your mouse down and start erasing that background. You can see, you know, I'm making a transparent part without the background. And you're gonna, you know, try to come into your image and do that, and that's really just not realistic. Let's be honest, that's not gonna work. Let me hit undo, because I already tapped into that C there. So that's not gonna work. You know, the eraser is great when you need to get certain little things that may have been left behind. And we'll go back to that part in a moment. But you're not gonna get rid of your whole background using erase. So the other one here says select and erase, and it looks like a little wand. That's my favorite. Let's go to the wand. And let's click Advanced Options. And there's two options. The first one is asking how many colors are in your image. If you have something that has a lot of colors, I just leave it as unmodified. I don't change it. But when it's something with 2 or 3, especially when it's 2 and it's pretty clear picture, meaning there's not a lot of fuzz or granularity, I'll go ahead and tell it there's only 2 colors here. The next one is your color tolerance. Oh, so it went gray. That was because I selected 2. It's really defining. Is it one or is it the other? Color tolerance is used when you have some of that fuzziness, some of that granularity from a picture you brought in. As you increase the tolerance, it goes more into that fuzzy space, those different elements of the fuzzy hues as your color is beginning to change in a more fuzzy picture. So if it's 2 colors that are drastically different, white and black as this image was, I'm going to make this color tolerance pretty high. I'm going to go about 90. And this goes, I honestly don't know what the highest number is, to be honest. I've been in the hundreds. I'm going to go 90. 90 is probably where I land most of the time with a pretty clear white and black picture. From there, you can see the crosshairs. I'm going to go ahead and click the gray, which is the background I want to remove. And once I click that, it has gone through and removed anywhere connecting of that color that I clicked. So because there are little gaps in here and around the your, it was able to get the center of the O, the bottom of the Y. It doesn't look like it, well, it may have gotten the section here in the top of the R on the your. I'm going to put my crosshairs in there real carefully and click once just to make sure. But it looks white instead of gray, so I'm pretty sure it got that. Now, it didn't get inside the P or the O because there's no opening in these black portions of the letter for it to have gone in. So I just click in there, click in the O, click in the P. Those are now transparent. Check the rest of my image. There's nothing else there. Before I move on, I also like to use Preview down at the bottom center. Preview makes it look like it will as a cut file. Kind of changed there. And sometimes Preview helps to see if there's any little spots that may have gotten missed for some reason. And if there were, that's where I'd go back to my eraser and just click on them to erase whatever spots those may have been. Once you believe this looks good, you click Continue on the lower right, if my screen's not reversed for you. You then have 2 options here. The one on the left, the first one, is for Print Then Cut. This is just going to be a cut file. It's just one color you want cut out of vinyl. If it was a picture of a family member that was full color, that's when you can do a print and cut. This is not a class on print and cut. I may do one of those later. So for this class, this is just a cut image. I'm going to select that. You get the green box around it. Again, you can give it a name and tags. Let's say laundry. And you can give it multiple tags. And you click Save. So as you see here, it's uploaded just like the first one. You can select it and you can insert image. So the first one, the The one on the right is that SVG we brought in. The one on the left is the JPEG from the same that we brought in. So you can select whichever, insert image. Now that brings it into your canvas. It's pretty large, so let me bring that one down a lot. That brought it into your canvas as a single image because that JPEG is just a one-dimensional piece where we talked about the SVG was many, and there were many parts when we brought in the SVG. So if you see here, there's only one layer from this JPEG, although it looks pretty good. And if I close that, go back into upload, go back to the SVG one and insert image, you can see there's many pieces here in our layers. And we can do all kinds of fun things with those. Now this class isn't how to build your design, so I'm not going to spend much time over here in the layers. But you can, remove parts of it because it's an SVG. You can separate and move them around. So I could ungroup everything and choose to move pockets somewhere else. That's the fun of the SVG. So that is bringing in an SVG that you bought from somewhere that is a true SVG file. We also talked about maybe if you didn't get the SVG, but you got the JPEG, for instance. I also want to talk about those SVGs on Facebook. So when you're in your Facebook, let's go to Facebook, and I'm in one of those SVG groups, and I went to their media, because that kind of consolidates all of the different pictures people have uploaded. Again, they may have said, this is an SVG dump, but they're not because Facebook doesn't support uploading an SVG image. But there's lots of them in here, and you could select one. I'm waiting for it to load. Oh, page isn't available right now. So let me just hit refresh, see if that brings it up. If not, there's plenty of others to choose from. All right, so I'm not going to worry about that one. So I did actually save one earlier on my desktop that from here that I will play with. So let's say you found an image and you saved it to your computer. So you right-clicked, did Save Image As, and saved it to computer. You can come into your Cricut design space. Oh, and I realized I forgot to switch screens when I went to my browser. Why didn't you guys tell me? Let me go back to Facebook and show you guys. Sorry. Let me do that. Boom. So that was where I was saying it said page is not available. Just go to Facebook. Let's find another image. Let's do my search. I'm in a lot of SVG groups. I think I'm stretching the bounds of my computer's bandwidth here. All right, so I went to media at the top, and then I was just browsing through different things that have been uploaded. There's this Halloween Life one. Let's see if that one will load for me. So I'm having problems with getting the pictures up. I don't know why. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So what I was saying was I had found an image, and I right-clicked and did Save As. Before I jump into Design Space, actually, with that picture, or with that image, I just want to show you when I Google for different images, I use the word clip art a lot, and that really helps. So if I do Halloween clip art and go to images, you can find lots of options that are pretty easy to take into Design Space. So let's say I go with this Happy Halloween with the bats, and I'm going to right click, save image as, and I'm going to call it Happy Halloween. And I don't know if this part's going to be on your screen or not. Save it on my desktop. All right, now I'm going to go back to Design Space. Let's get rid of this check your pockets. Let's click upload, just like we were doing before. Upload image, browse for where you saved it. So whether you got it from Facebook and saved it, or whether you got it from Google and saved it, it's pretty much the same when you do that save image as. Locate it, open it. And pretty much now we're working with much like we had when we used that JPEG that we had bought. Again, I'm going to go to complex. I'm going to click continue. And there wasn't a lot of extra white space around, so I'm not going to crop. I'm going to go ahead and straight to my wand, my advanced options. Now there's definitely more than two colors here. We have the black bats. They have yellow eyes. Looks like there's a gold around the orange font. So there's 4 colors I just counted. And there's a white background. That's actually 5. So I'm not going to, I'm going to put this back to unmodified. I'm not going to give it the 5. But I will play with my tolerance. So between the white background and the letters of your H, which is your lightest color on here that's touching the white at least, you know, maybe the bat's eyes are different, but the lightest color to be touching the white, I'm going to start around a 50 and see how I feel about that. So don't forget you always have an undo button. All right, I'm going to click in the white background and see how that looks. Oh, I think that looks pretty good actually. Let me undo. Let me show you what it looks like when it doesn't look so good. Let's say I went to 90, which is the number I had prior, and I click. Well, hey, 90 doesn't look so bad either. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make it not look so hot. Let's go to 140. Hey, 140 is looking pretty good. Oh, gosh. This one's been pretty friendly to me. Oops, I forgot to hit undo that last click. All right, so at 180, it washed out the letters. That was way too high on the tolerance. So I like to pretty much go as high as I can without losing it. So let me go back to around 150. And remember, guys, this is for personal use, so it could be copyrighted. This is for personal use. I do not have a commercial license to this image. All right, so 150 worked pretty good. I'd also click inside of the letters to hollow out the A, the O, the A, the P, and the bat's eyes need to go. You could always zoom in if you need to get those bat's eyes. Whoops, see, I accidentally clicked the bat instead of the eye. I'm going to hit undo. Try again for that other eye there. There we go. Let me zoom out a little bit again. I wanted to talk for a second on the words. So the words have 2 colors to them in this example. And when I am cutting it, or when I bring it in for a cut, like if I hit preview that we talked about earlier, previewing as a cut file, you're going to see it actually made that word 1, because all it sees is just colors next to colors. It doesn't differentiate the color as a cut there. So it made it all 1. I'm going to hide the preview again, go back to how it was. I'm going to actually take away the center of the letters. Now, I hit the center of the H, and part of that went away. That's because my tolerance is too high. I click undo. Let's go back down to around 90, and let's test it again. I'm clicking on the orange inside the H. Still too high. So what's happening here is the orange and the yellow are too similar. So I need to continue to lower my tolerance. I'm going to try 60. Too high. Let's try 40. All right, 40 looks like it did it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to move the center of the letters. I'm just clicking through each one, taking away the orange center. So now when I click preview, you have that. And then once you bring it into your canvas, you can actually add the centers back in. There's another class I'll be doing that'll show you how to do some of that with contour. So I think it looks pretty good. I don't see any extra fuzzies to get rid of. Oh, you know what? There might be one at the bottom, now that I think about it. Nope, it's not there. It must have gotten taken away when I was doing the wand. So let's go ahead and continue. Again, this is going to be a cut file, so you need to click the one on the right. Down at the bottom, you see it says save as a cut image, as opposed to a print and cut on the left. We have Happy Halloween as the name. You can also add a tag for bats. Maybe you're looking for bats. And click save. I'm going to click on that one and insert image. This is going to bring it onto my canvas. So this is that one that I got from Google, again for personal use. I do not have a commercial license for it. And would be the same process for one you may have saved from Facebook. So let's see. Sometimes the images can be more intricate. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend my time getting frustrated cleaning up very intricate images. So there's some tools we can use to make that much quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that Happy Halloween. Let's move back into our web browser. And any links that I use during this class today, I will make sure to post into the Facebook event for this class, all of those web links that I'm going to be going to. So you don't have to try to jot them down real quick. I will make sure they're posted after class in there. Actually, I'll show you even where they're getting posted. So they'll be posted back to my Facebook home. Let's go to this group, Cricut Help Desk Unofficial. And from the top menu, we've got the more. Oh, it's not there. So I guess you'll need to like the Facebook Help Desk Unofficial page, which looks a little different. It actually has like a little icon. It's the account I'm live from right now. Under its more, we do have events, and we have this class in here. I don't know where it's at, but it should be in there. There it is. It's just taking a little bit to load. It's under there. You can see August 31st under my little menu that's in the way now. There we go. I will make sure that the links are posted within this event page. Okay. So back to what I was talking about, those intricate images that I don't want to spend my time cleaning up. There's a couple of tools that could help. One is this picsvg.com. I'll make sure this link is in the event. And you upload picture. And this is actually going to turn it into an SVG for me. So a picture I saved earlier from Facebook before class today was a little more intricate. You'll see it in a moment. But you just locate that image, and it'll upload it. So as I scroll down the page, on the left is the original. That has some intricacies inside of them and the hair that I didn't want to play with. On the right is their first attempt at SVG. Looks different. So what I think people don't realize in this site, because I know a lot of people use it, is there's actually some options up here. I typically start with the filters and just select the different ones to see what feels or looks more like what you were looking for that SVG. Definitely not that one. But as I start going through them, there are ones that kind of help make it match up. Now, the more intricate the image, or the more maybe pixelated or fuzzy that image is, the harder it's going to be for this to do it. So you can't just take any image. It still needs to kind of be crisp and clean, but it's going to get rid of that background for sure. Now, that one's close, but I noticed that some of these snowflakes don't kind of look quite right, so I'm going to keep looking at my options here. Oh, we lost a lot of that snowflake. Let's see what this last one looks like. All right, that last one actually to me looks pretty good. Pretty like the original that I had taken from Facebook. So I like that. I can click download SVG below the picture. It downloaded as a .svg. I don't know if you can see it at the bottom of my screen there. So if we go back to Design Space and we upload image, browse for the image. Now this one's going to be my downloads folder because it just downloaded it. Select that image and click open. It actually brought it in as an SVG the way the first ones had. We're not going to be cleaning up any background on this one because it was a true SVG file that we just made from an image I saved from Facebook. Maybe call it Frozen. Maybe call it Elsa, Anna. Hit save. Select it and insert. Now, being an SVG, it has all these little parts to it. It does bring it in as grouped, but there's lots of parts there to work with. Make it a little smaller so we can see it. I brought it in at 12.5 wide. Let's make it 4 wide so we can see it. And as you see, as I move it around, we can see the grid background behind it. There is no background on that, including within the different shapes on their bodies and within the hair and all of those elements. Another site I like to use, especially when something is much more detailed or there's a lot of busy background that you want to get rid of, is I first remove the background and then bring it in to convert it to an SVG. So let's go back to Chrome. Please let me know if you have questions. You guys are so quiet. Let's go back to Chrome. I always use Chrome. And there's a site that is remove.bg. So that's remove.bg. Again, I'll put that link in the event. But it is to remove a background. So I'm going to click upload image, and I have a picture on my computer of my cat that I'm going to use. Her name is Ellie. I'm going to click open. And it's going to bring in Ellie's picture that I'd taken on my cell phone. So there's the original, and there it removed the background. If I click here on the top, I can click back to original. You can see, you know, this was a dresser back here. Actually, she was sitting on another cat. But on the removed background, you can see that it's clear. What you can do is, if the tool, you know, the tool's not perfect, it doesn't know your image, if it missed a part. Now we can see here that the paws look cut off, the tail's not quite right. So if I click on edit, so you can click erase/restore. And this is basically going to now do manually what it had done. So right now it's on erase. And if I click on a piece of her, it will actually erase. Click undo. But you can restore if it went too far. I click restore. Now here, if I start clicking restore on her paw, I see that, you know what? Really, her paw just wasn't in the picture because she was standing on the other cat. So that paw, you know, it's not going to work. I'm going to hit undo. But I do know that more of her tail was actually in the picture. So I'm going to start clicking around her tail to bring some of that back. If you go too far, you could either hit undo, or you can go to the erase side and you can start erasing some of that tail. So you can really play with these to get them how you like them. Oh, no, that's fine. All right. If you notice, when I first went into edit, it was also on the background screen. So you could put them on different backgrounds. They have lots of fun backgrounds that you could use. Although if you're going to bring it into design space, I don't know that the background is the best option. But I can take Ellie and I can download. It's going into my downloads folder. And I can go to design space. And we can upload Ellie. Now this is Ellie without a background. Go complex, hit continue. Now Ellie has many colors to her, so as a cut, and I hit preview as a cut, that doesn't look anything like Ellie. It looks like a blob with some ears. So if I were to continue with Ellie in this fashion, she would not be a cut. She would be a print then cut, the first option on the left, which I have done. I have put on a shirt. Can you grab that shirt? It's in the corner.
Yeah.
We'll grab that shirt. So we actually have this image on a shirt. Deborah, yes, I'm going to, the video's going to come down after we're done, but then I'm going to upload it into YouTube. So, and then we'll put the YouTube link in our group, Cricut Help Desk, unofficial. So we will make sure to put that there either later today or tomorrow. So I did a print and cut with Ellie. Make myself a little bigger here for you guys real quick. Bring myself to the front. So I actually did a print and cut with Ellie. That is printable heat transfer vinyl with a print and cut. Now, if you don't have that printable heat transfer vinyl and you still want to do a regular SVG, like a black and white with Ellie, that is possible too. So let's go back here into cancel and design space, because clearly with all the colors that's not going to work. But we can take that same picture of Ellie with the background removed to that other site we talked about, where we convert to an SVG. We can upload, and I'm going to find the one, not the original I used on my desktop that has the background, but I'm going to go to my downloads folder where I have Ellie without a background and click open. And there's Ellie without the background. Again, you can play with the different filters to find which one you prefer. Sorry, there was a phone vibrating. There's also a second option here, from great to strong. And then you can look through, this part down there, the filters under strong to find your preference. Once you find one that you like, I think I liked this invert 4. So for Ellie there, I can download SVG. It's again went to my downloads folder. We go back into design space and upload, browse for it in my downloads folder, that newest SVG. And we actually have that SVG we just created from that picture from my cell phone. We've removed the background. We made an SVG. Let's call this Ellie SVG. Hit save. Select it. Bring it into my canvas. And then, I don't know if about you guys, I noticed this extra mark here at the top. Well, that is the great thing with all these pieces and parts of the SVG, because I can ungroup it. And it may take a moment because there's many, many pieces there. and I can select that little piece and get rid of it. I could send that and cut it. I could put it on a shirt. You could modify it. If you don't like those extra little whisker pieces, you can get rid of those. You really have a lot of options for it between removing the background and then using that convert to SVG site. Yeah, so I think I've mostly covered the agenda. I think the only thing we didn't cover yet is how to find some free SVG files. So I'm going to show you a few places. Again, I will put all the links in the Facebook page group event. So make sure you check there. I'll have them in, within 20 minutes or so after class ends. So the places, there's many. I'm just going to show you, I think I have 5 of my favorites. So let's go back to Chrome. So we like, okay, 6 of my favorites, because Google. You can Google for Halloween free SVG, and sure enough, you're going to find some. Not all will be free, but look, here's a free Halloween SVG cutting file. Let me see if I'm just curious here. So it didn't, you probably need to actually go to their site, because I was actually clicked in images instead of Google results. But lots of sites have lots of freebies to download. So you can download that one just from Googling those key terms. I really like freesvg.org. They have a good search within their own site. So if I wanted a pumpkin, and I hit enter for search, these are all free downloadable SVG files, pages and pages of them within freesvg.org. They have all types of content. I like using, so Katie Catherine, every day she gives 2 free SVG files. So most days I remember to just go check, see if I like them, think if they're cute, and if they are, I downloaded them. So katiecatherine.com, daily freebie, and looks like today's 2 free ones. So the first 2 say free, the last one is $1. You can add to basket. They're free. You check out, but you don't. They don't take any credit card information, and you download them once you're done. So every day those will change. She has some very cute ones. Also, a lot of your online vinyl cutting store or vinyl stores where you can buy your heat transfer vinyl, like 143vinyl.com. Many of them are going to have a section with free SVGs. If I go to more on this one, and SVG design files and free, they've got free letters and love and nature and all kinds of little images you can use. Again, you could download an SVG and just take one part of it. Maybe you just want the little face in this autumn and not all the leaves around. So because they come in as all those different elements, you can take just the pieces you want. There's lovesvg.com. Lots of fun ones. They change frequently. They make them seasonal. So there are lists upon lists of free SVG sites, and these ones are already actual SVGs where you're not going to have to clean up the background. So I'm going to kind of stop there. Let me guys know if you have any questions. And just in general, we're going to continue to offer classes. So make sure you're in Cricut Help Desk Unofficial. Probably going to do a font class soon. I love working with fonts. I have lots of good information on fonts. I'm probably going to do kind of like a Cricut Design Space 101. So Cricut Design Space 101, we're going to kind of talk about all the different things in the toolbars across the top, over on the top and bottom of the layers section, how to work with all of those. I'm going to probably do a little class or tutorial on, I don't know if you guys have seen these Joy card mats. So I don't have a Cricut Joy, but I buy the card mats for my maker, and I'm going to show you how to use those on the maker. Let's see, I have a video that I'm going to be putting out on creating envelopes for the cards that I cut with these. So a really clean envelope file. We might do a video on retacking mats when they become less sticky. We're still working on that one, but definitely a thought. So we have lots of ideas and thoughts coming out. You can also let us know yours. Again, let me know if you have any questions going on right now. This was completely free. They will remain free. But if this was helpful, if you got use out of it, enjoyed it, learned something, if you could just, like, follow, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, just do all the things, that's all we need for appreciation. Thank you everybody for joining. Have a great rest of your day.